Why smart people stay silent. Have you ever noticed? The smartest person in the room is often the quietest. Strange. Because the world keeps telling us. Speak more. Show yourself. Prove your intelligence. But the wisest minds do the exact opposite. They don't rush to answer. They don't argue to win. And they never waste words. Just to be noticed. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The louder someone tries to appear powerful, the less power they usually have. Real strength rarely announces itself. It simply exists. Think about it. Why does a lion never bark like a dog? Because it already knows what it is. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. It is the ability to master your emotions before your emotions master you. The ancient Stoics believed something extraordinary. Every unnecessary word steals a little piece of your inner peace. Every pointless argument makes someone else the owner of your mind. And every emotional reaction gives away your power. So ask yourself, who is really in control? The person who reacts to everything, or the person who chooses when to react? Today, we're going to uncover why intelligent people speak less, why silence intimidates insecure minds, and why mastering this forgotten skill can completely change the way people see you. Because sometimes, the most powerful sentence is the one you never say. The first sign of intelligence. Most people think intelligence is measured by how much you know. The Stoics believed something different. True intelligence is measured by what you choose not to say. Look around. Every day, people argue with strangers, defend opinions no one asked for, fight battles that change nothing. And at the end, they call it confidence. But it isn't. It's emotional slavery. Because when someone can control your emotions, they control you. A wise person understands this. Not every opinion deserves a response. Not every insult deserves revenge. Not every conversation deserves your attention. The strongest mind knows where its energy belongs. Imagine carrying a cup filled to the very top. Would you run with it? Of course not. You would walk carefully, protecting every drop. Your mental energy is that cup. Every pointless debate spills a little. Every unnecessary explanation spills a little more. Soon, you feel exhausted. Not because life is difficult, but because you gave your energy to people who never deserved it. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, you always have the choice. The choice to stay calm. The choice to remain silent. The choice not to become like the people trying to provoke you. Silence is not surrender. Silence is selection. It means you have decided your peace is more valuable than proving someone wrong. And that decision is where real power begins. Why insecure people fear your silence. Have you ever noticed? Some people become uncomfortable the moment you stop explaining yourself. They keep asking questions. They keep pushing. They keep waiting for a reaction. Why? Because silence removes the control they thought they had. Most insecure people don't seek understanding. They seek validation. They want proof that their words can affect you. That their opinions can disturb your peace. The moment you react emotionally, they win. Not because they were right, but because They controlled your state of mind. A Stoic understands. Power is never given. It is surrendered. Every angry reply is a small surrender. Every desperate explanation is another surrender. Every emotional outburst hands your peace to someone else. But silence changes everything. It creates uncertainty. It creates mystery. And mystery is something insecure minds struggle to handle. They begin asking themselves, did I say something wrong? Why isn't this person reacting? Why do they seem so calm? Without saying a single word, you force them to face their own thoughts. That is the true power of silence. It doesn't attack. It reflects. Like a still lake. It shows people exactly who they are. Remember this. Not every battle is meant to be fought. Some battles are won the moment you refuse to enter them. The strongest people don't waste time proving their strength. They protect it. And sometimes the loudest victory is complete silence. Silence makes you unpredictable. There is something the human mind cannot tolerate. Uncertainty. People feel comfortable when they know exactly how you will react. They know your anger. They know your weakness. They know which words can hurt you. And once they know that, they can control you. But everything changes the moment you become silent. Suddenly, they can't read you anymore. They can't predict you. They can't manipulate you. And that makes them uncomfortable. The Stoics understood that predictability is often a weakness. Because when people know every move you will make, they never fear losing you. They never fear challenging you. But a calm mind is impossible to calculate. Imagine playing a game of chess. One player moves without thinking. The other sits quietly, watching, waiting, studying every move. Who do you think looks more dangerous? The one making noise, or the one who is thinking? Real intelligence never rushes. It observes first. It understands first. Then, only if necessary, it speaks. This is why wise people ask more questions than they answer. Because every answer gives away information. But every moment of silence collects information. The person who speaks all the time learns very little. The person who listens learns everything. That is why silence is not empty. It is full of awareness, full of discipline, full of strength. Remember, you don't become powerful by making everyone hear your voice. You become powerful when your presence alone makes people wonder what you're thinking. The dangerous habit of explaining yourself to everyone. One habit destroys more peace than almost anything else. The need to explain yourself to everyone. Why you made a decision. Why you walked away. Why you stayed silent. Why you changed. The truth is, not everyone deserves an explanation. And not everyone will understand it. Some people have already decided who you are. No matter what you say, their opinion will never change. Yet, people spend years trying to convince minds that have already closed their doors. The Stoics warned against this. Because the moment You begin chasing approval. You stop leading your own life. Think about it. The sun never explains why it rises. The ocean never apologizes for its waves. The mountains never ask to be accepted. They simply exist. Strong, steady, unshaken. Nature teaches a lesson most people ignore. Your value does not increase because someone approves of you. And it does not decrease because someone misunderstands you. If your actions are guided by wisdom and your conscience is clear, you owe no endless explanations. Protect your energy. Protect your time. Protect your peace. Because every unnecessary explanation is an attempt to control what others think. And that is impossible. You cannot control every opinion. You cannot silence every critic. But you can choose not to become their prisoner. Sometimes the strongest answer is no answer at all. Walk forward quietly. Let your actions speak the words your mouth never needs to say. The quiet mind sees what others miss. Most people look, but they never truly see. They hear, but they never truly listen. Their minds are too busy planning the next sentence, preparing the next argument, searching for the next chance to speak. And because of that, they miss everything. The Stoics believed a noisy mind cannot recognize the truth, because truth does not shout. It whispers. Only a calm mind can hear it. Watch the wisest person in any room. They rarely interrupt. They rarely compete for attention. Instead, they observe every expression, every pause, every change in tone, while everyone else is trying to be noticed. They are quietly collecting information. That is why they make fewer mistakes. Because they act on understanding, not assumptions. There is a hidden power in listening. When you truly listen, people reveal themselves without realizing it. They tell you what they fear, what they value, what they hide. Words reveal facts. Silence reveals character. This is why the strongest leaders spend more time listening than speaking. They know knowledge enters through silent ears, not through a busy mouth. Remember this. You cannot learn while you are talking. But every moment you choose to listen, your understanding grows. Your judgment becomes sharper. Your emotions become calmer. And your presence becomes impossible to ignore. Because in a world where everyone wants to be heard, the rare person who truly listens always stands apart. Why your silence is more powerful than revenge. There will be moments when people disrespect you. They will lie. They will judge. They will underestimate you. And every part of you will want to fight back, to prove them wrong, to make them regret what they did. But this is the moment that separates the ordinary from the wise. Anyone can react. Very few can remain calm. The Stoics understood That revenge often creates a second victim. The first victim is the person who hurt you. The second victim is the one who allows hatred to live inside them. Ask yourself, who suffers more? The person who insulted you for a few seconds, or the person who keeps replaying those words for months inside their own mind? Holding on to anger is like carrying a burning coal. You hope to throw it at someone else, but before it leaves your hand, it burns you first. Silence breaks that cycle. It refuses to feed hatred. It refuses to waste energy on people who have already chosen ignorance. And here is the greatest secret. Nothing confuses a negative person more than someone who refuses to become negative. Your peace becomes your answer. Your discipline becomes your revenge. Your success becomes your loudest response. Time will reveal who was right without you saying a single word. Remember, not every insult needs a reply. Not every enemy deserves your attention. Some victories are invisible, but they are the ones that change your life forever. Choose peace. Choose discipline. Choose silence. Because the strongest people don't defeat others. They master themselves. The price of speaking too much. Every word has a cost. Most people never realize it. They speak to impress. They speak to defend themselves. They speak because silence feels uncomfortable. But every unnecessary word reveals something. Your plans, your emotions, your fears, your weaknesses. The more you speak, the easier you become to understand. And the easier you become to manipulate. The Stoics practiced a different path. Before speaking, they asked themselves, is it true? Is it necessary? Will it improve the silence? If the answer was no, they remained quiet. Think about history. The greatest strategists never announced their next move. They let others guess while they prepared. But today, people reveal everything. Their goals, their next step, their private struggles, even their biggest dreams, to people who never wanted to see them succeed. Not everyone who listens supports you. Some people listen only to find your weakness, to use your own words against you. That is why wisdom knows the difference between honesty and oversharing. You don't have to tell everyone what you're building. You don't have to explain every decision. You don't have to share every victory before it happens. Protect your vision like a seed. A seed doesn't grow because everyone keeps digging it up to check its progress. It grows in silence. So do great ideas. So do strong people. And so does a powerful life. Remember, Not everything needs an audience. Some dreams become reality because they were protected by silence. Why silence scares weak minds? There is something weak minds cannot understand. Silence. Not because it is complicated, but because it gives them nothing to control. Most people feel safe when they know your thoughts, your plans, your emotions, your fears. But when you remain calm, when you refuse to explain every move, everything changes. Now, they begin creating stories. Maybe they're angry. Maybe they're planning something. Maybe they know something I don't. Notice what happened. You said nothing. Yet, their own mind started speaking for you. This is the strange power of silence. It forces people to confront their own imagination. The insecure cannot tolerate this because uncertainty feels like danger. That is why some people keep talking, keep asking, keep provoking. They are not searching for answers. They are searching for certainty. And they hope your emotions will give it to them. But a disciplined mind refuses. The Stoics believed that self-control is the highest form of freedom. If someone can predict every reaction you have, they already possess a piece of your freedom. Take that away, and you become impossible to control. Imagine a strong tree standing quietly during a storm. The wind screams. The rain falls. Everything around it becomes chaotic. Yet the tree doesn't argue with the storm. It simply remains rooted. That is wisdom. Life will always bring noise, criticism, disappointment, misunderstanding. People will try to shake your confidence. But your greatest strength is not fighting every storm. It is remaining rooted while the storm exhausts itself. Remember, silence is not the absence of power. Silence is power under perfect control. And the person who masters silence soon discovers that the world can no longer control their peace. Stop chasing validation. From the moment we are born, we are taught to seek approval. A good grade earns applause. A good job earns respect. A successful life earns admiration. Slowly, without realizing it, we become addicted to validation. We begin asking, do they like me? Do they agree with me? What will people think? And just like that, our happiness is no longer ours. It belongs to everyone else. The Stoics saw this trap long before the modern world. They understood that the person who depends on the applause of others will also suffer from their criticism, because both praise and blame come from the same place. Other people's opinions. Think about it. If compliments can control your mood, then insults will control it too. That is not freedom. That is dependence. A wise person does not ask, do they approve of me? Instead, they ask, did I live according to my values? Because values remain steady. Opinions change every day. Today, they admire you. Tomorrow, they judge you. Next week, they forget you. So why build your identity on something so temporary? A mountain doesn't become taller because people praise it. And it doesn't become smaller because someone ignores it. It simply stands unshaken. Your character should be the same. Do the right thing, even if no one notices. Keep improving, even if no one applauds. Walk your path, even if no one understands. Because the greatest reward is not recognition. It is the quiet confidence of knowing you no longer need permission to be yourself. The day you stop chasing validation is the day you finally become free. The power of walking away. One of the hardest things a person can do is walk away. Not because they are weak, but because their ego begs them to stay, to argue, to prove a point, to win one last battle. But the Stoics knew not every victory is worth its price. Sometimes the cost of winning is your peace, and that price is too high. There will always be people who misunderstand you, people who twist your words, people who want a reaction more than they want the truth. You cannot change every mind, and you were never meant to. The moment you accept this, life becomes lighter. Imagine holding a rope in a fierce tug of war. The harder both sides pull, the more exhausting the battle becomes. Now imagine you simply let go. The fight ends instantly. Not because you lost, but because you refused to waste your strength. This is exactly how many arguments work. They survive only because both people keep pulling. The strongest person is often the first one to let go. Walking away does not mean you have no courage. It means your future matters more than your pride. Every minute spent arguing is a minute not spent growing. While others fight over opinions, the wise build their lives. Remember, you are not responsible for proving your worth to every stranger. You are responsible for protecting your peace, your purpose, and your future. Some doors should not be forced open. Some people should not be chased. Some battles should not be fought. Walk away without anger, without hatred, without fear. Because when you know who you are, you no longer feel the need to convince anyone else. Protect your inner peace at all costs. There is one treasure more valuable than money, more difficult to earn than success, and easier to lose than anything else. Your inner peace. Most people don't lose it in one dramatic moment. They lose it little by little. One pointless argument. One toxic relationship. One unnecessary comparison. One negative opinion. Until one day, they wake up, feeling exhausted. Not because life defeated them, but because they gave away pieces of themselves to everyone else. The Stoics believed your peace is your responsibility, not the world's. If you expect the world to become quiet before you find peace, you will wait forever. Because life will never stop testing you. There will always be noise, criticism, failure, disappointment, and people who misunderstand you. The question is not, can I avoid them? The real question is, can I remain calm in the middle of them? Imagine a candle burning inside a dark room. The wind tries to reach it. The darkness surrounds it. Yet the flame continues to burn. Not because the storm disappeared, but because the flame learned to protect itself. Your mind must become that flame. Do not allow every opinion to enter your heart. Do not invite every problem into your thoughts. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves your energy. Choose carefully what you carry, because whatever lives inside your mind will eventually shape your life. Peace is not found by escaping the world. It is found by refusing to let the world control your spirit. Protect your peace, even when no one understands why. Because once you lose your inner peace, nothing else will ever feel enough. The discipline of emotional control. There is a battle that no one can see. No crowds. No applause. No trophies. Yet, it is the most important battle you will ever fight. The battle against yourself. Most people believe strength is lifting heavier weights, winning more arguments, speaking with confidence. But the Stoics saw strength differently. Real strength is controlling the emotion that wants to control you. Anyone can become angry. Anyone can lose their temper. Anyone can react without thinking. There is nothing extraordinary about that. What is extraordinary is remaining calm when chaos invites you to lose yourself. Imagine someone insults you. They expect your voice to rise, your face to change, your patience to disappear. But instead, you smile. You stay silent. You continue walking. In that moment, who has the power? The one who threw the insult, or the one who refused to carry it? Remember this. An insult only becomes heavy when you decide to pick it up. If you leave it where it belongs, it has no power over you. This is why emotional control is freedom. Because your mood no longer depends on another person's behavior. The world may remain unpredictable. People may remain difficult. Life may remain unfair. But your mind can still remain steady. That is the difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is instant. Response is intentional. Reaction belongs to emotion. Response belongs to wisdom. Every day, life gives you a choice. Will you become a prisoner of your emotions? Or will you become their master? The answer will determine not only who you are today, but who you become for the rest of your life. Why wise people choose solitude? There comes a moment in every person's life when they begin to fear being alone. The silence feels too loud. The empty room feels uncomfortable. So they surround themselves with constant noise, constant conversations, constant distractions. Not because they enjoy them, but because they are afraid to meet themselves. The Stoics chose a different path. They understood that solitude is not loneliness. It is a conversation with your own soul. The strongest minds are built in moments no one else sees. When there is no applause, no audience, no validation. Only you and your thoughts. Ask yourself, who are you when no one is watching? Can you sit in complete silence without reaching for your phone, without searching for someone to entertain you? If the answer is no, then your mind has become dependent on distraction, and distraction is the enemy of wisdom. A quiet room can teach you more about yourself than 1,000 conversations. Because in silence, your excuses disappear. Your fears appear. Your dreams become clear. And your true character begins to reveal itself. This is why the greatest thinkers never feared being alone. They feared never understanding who they really were. Remember, being alone does not make you weak. Sometimes it is the only place where strength can be built. So don't run from solitude. Enter it. Listen to it. Learn from it. Because the person who becomes comfortable with their own company can never be controlled by the fear of losing anyone else. Let your actions speak. The world is full of promises. People promise to change, to work harder, to become successful, to prove everyone wrong. But promises are easy. Words cost nothing. That is why the Stoics trusted actions more than speeches. Anyone can talk about discipline. Very few wake up early when no one is watching. Anyone can speak about courage. Very few choose the difficult path when fear appears. Anyone can say, I will succeed, But only a handful remain consistent. Long after the excitement disappears. This is why wise people speak less and do more. They understand that results create a voice louder than words. Imagine two people. The first talks every day about the life they are going to build. The second says almost nothing. Months pass. One still has beautiful excuses. The other has real achievements. Now ask yourself, who truly needed to speak? The tree never announces that fruit is coming. It simply grows. And one day, the fruit appears. Without noise. Without permission. Without applause. Your life should be the same. Work quietly. Improve daily. Stay disciplined. Keep learning. Keep building. Even if no one notices. Because one day, your results will introduce you. Before you ever say a word. Remember, people may doubt your words. They may question your intentions. But they cannot argue with consistent actions. In the end, it is not your promises that define you. It is what you repeatedly do when nobody is looking. Let your actions become your voice. And let your silence become your strength. The silent confidence no one can fake. There is a confidence that can be bought. It comes from expensive clothes, luxury cars, status, attention, and the approval of other people. But there is another confidence. A deeper one. One that cannot be purchased, cannot be borrowed, and cannot be faked. It is born in silence. It grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. Every morning you choose discipline over comfort. Every evening you choose growth over excuses. Slowly something changes. You stop seeking attention because you no longer need proof from the outside. Your proof lives within you. The Stoics believed that confidence is not believing you are better than everyone else. It is knowing that your worth does not depend on anyone else. Look at the ocean. It never competes with the river. Look at the moon. It never argues with the stars. Everything in nature fulfills its purpose without comparison. Only humans waste years comparing their journey to someone else's. Comparison steals peace. Comparison destroys gratitude. Comparison makes success feel small. The wise refuse this trap. They measure today's self against yesterday's self. And that is enough. Real confidence doesn't shout. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't demand respect. Because it knows respect cannot be forced. It can only be earned. So walk without arrogance. Speak. Without desperation. Live. Without comparison. And when the world questions your value, do not argue. Do not explain. Do not chase their approval. Simply continue becoming the person you promised yourself you would become. Because the strongest confidence is the one that remains unshaken, even when no one is clapping. The final Stoic lesson. If there is one lesson the Stoics wanted every person to remember, it is this: you cannot control the world. You cannot control what people think, what they say, what they believe, or how they treat you. Spend your life trying to control those things, and you will spend your life in disappointment. But there is one thing that always belongs to you: your response, your character, your choices, your mind. That is your true kingdom. And every day, life asks the same question: will you rule your own mind? Or will you allow the world to rule it for you? Every insult is a test. Every failure is a lesson. Every disappointment is an opportunity to become stronger. Not because pain is enjoyable, but because growth is impossible without resistance. Gold becomes pure only after passing through fire. The strongest trees stand tall because they survived the fiercest storms. And the wisest people become wise not because life was easy, but because they refused to let hardship destroy their spirit. One day, people will forget what you owned. They will forget what you looked like. They will even forget many of the words you spoke. But they will remember how you carried yourself, how calm you remained when everyone else lost control, how you chose wisdom instead of ego, peace instead of revenge, silence instead of noise. That is a legacy no one can ever take away. So before you try to change the world, master yourself. Because the person who conquers their own mind has already achieved the greatest victory. The silent power within you. Take a moment. Right now. Close your eyes. If only for a second. Think about every argument that stole your peace. Every opinion that kept you awake at night. Every person you tried so hard to convince. Now ask yourself, was it worth it? Or did it simply steal time you will never get back? Life is shorter than we imagine. One day, the noise will disappear. The applause will fade. The criticism will be forgotten. But one thing will remain. The person you chose to become. Not the battles you won. Not the arguments you finished. But the character you built. In silence. The Stoics never promised an easy life. They promised something far more valuable. A peaceful mind in a chaotic world. And perhaps that is the greatest success any human being can ever achieve. So, the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember this. Your silence is not weakness. It is discipline. It is wisdom. It is confidence. It is self-mastery. Because the loudest people often fight to be noticed. But the strongest people never need to announce their strength. They simply live it quietly every single day. So choose your words carefully. Choose your battles wisely. Protect your peace relentlessly. And let your life become the proof that real power doesn't make noise. It creates impact silently. If this message changed the way you see silence, then don't let it end here. Carry it into your life. Practice it every day. And watch how the world begins to treat you differently. Because the day you master your mind is the day you become truly unstoppable. Thank you for watching. Stay calm. Stay disciplined. And remember, the strongest fortress you will ever build is the one inside your own mind.